Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Sweet Destiny, a sweet series novella by Lynn, narrated by Callie, Dalton and Teddy Hamilton. Prologue. Sam. 3 months earlier. The nightmare always starts off the same way, vivid and soul-shattering. Horrendous images flash through my mind on repeat, helplessly propelling me back to a historical moment in time. I'm surrounded by smoke. There's so much it's suffocating. I cough and sputter my way through it, my eyes burning as much as my lungs. Joshua! His name rips from my raw throat as I stumble through the destroyed streets. I look around at the charred city we once called home, the man I love, somewhere in the midst of destruction. Joshua! I scream for him again, refusing to give up. I will never give up. A figure suddenly emerges from the smog, and the first tendrils of hope infiltrate my heart when I notice all the fire gear. Thank God! My heels click on cement as I run toward the firefighter covered in soot, but I quickly realize it's not my beloved husband. It's one of his fellow brothers, firefighter Gibson. He grips my shoulders, and the heavy regret in his red-brimmed eyes sends my heart plummeting straight to my stomach. His mouth moves, telling me the unthinkable, but I shake my head, refusing to believe it. It can't be true.
I'm sorry, Rose. We lost so many, but a little boy lived because of him.
Despair grips my heart in an unforgiving vice, my entire world shattering as I crumble to my knees. The pain of my screams echo through the ruined streets, shredding my vocal cords and destroying what's left of my existence.
Sam, wake up!
I bolt upright on a scream. Blanketed in darkness, my mangled heart beats rapidly. Sweat coats my skin and tears soak my cheeks as I try to breathe through the spasms ravaging my chest, my hand clutching the spot that physically aches. Jace's handsome face appears before mine, drowning out the shadows in our room. Dark eyes that are so similar to the ones that haunt my dreams peer back at me with concern. A sob tumbles from my lips, and I scramble onto his lap, my arms curling around his neck as I cry out a loss I can't understand, but feel all the way to my soul.
Breathe, baby. It's okay.
His strong arms come around me, holding my broken pieces together.
It was just a dream.
It wasn't. I can still smell the pungent smoke. It lingers in the air, the remnants of it reminding me of all that was lost. He pulls back, his gaze searching.
Same nightmare?
It's not a nightmare, I choke out. I lost you, and I'm going to lose you again. I know it. Voicing the words out loud only compounds my fear even more.
No, you're not, he argues sternly. We talked about this, Sam.
He doesn't understand. He can't. Not when he hasn't seen what I have, felt the devastation and loss. For the past several months, the same nightmare has plagued me, and I fear that one day it will eventually become my reality.
Look at me.
Framing my face between his hands, lifts my gaze back to his.
You're not going to lose me.
I already have. The knowledge burns in my heart as strongly as it did for Rose. This isn't some nightmare, Jace. You die in a fire saving a little boy. Only you aren't you and I'm not me. At least, not our names. But we are them and... Frustrated, I trail off, sounding insane even to myself.
Baby, I'm right here. Look at me. Feel me.
He places my hand over his strong and steady heartbeat.
I'm yours, Sam. Always and forever. Nothing will ever change that.
I gaze back into his eyes I know I've looked into and lost before, all for the sacrifice of his job. If I asked you to quit firefighting, would you? The selfish question is out before I can stop it, desperation running my mouth.
Yeah, I would,
he answers, surprising me.
But I'm really hoping you won't ask me to do that. I love my job, Sam. As much as you love yours. It's who I am. It's what I'm meant to do.
I rest my forehead on his, my eyes closing in shame. I know, I'm sorry. I don't want you to change, but I can't lose you, Chase. I want to marry you and have your babies, but I'm terrified of losing it all before we even have a chance to build a life together. Just like Rose and Joshua.
I could walk across the street one day and get hit by a car, he says, or end up in a plane crash.
It's not a plane crash that took him from me. It was a fire, and his sacrifice.
Nothing in life is ever guaranteed, Sam. Except for one thing.
What's that? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper.
My love for you, and that I will always come home to you, one way or another.
I desperately want to believe that, but the memory of all that was lost is still too fresh. I drop my forehead on his shoulder, feeling scared and depleted.
Fuck it.
Gathering me in his arms, he stands. My head snaps up from his shoulder. What are you doing?
We're finishing this once and for all.
Determination marks each step as he walks us into the kitchen. He deposits me in a chair, then rips the calendar off our fridge and drops it down on the table in front of me.
Pick a date.
What?
Pick a wedding date. The sooner the better. Then I'm going to knock you up.
He blatantly informs me.
We are going to fuck like crazy, have a ton of kids, and I'm going to raise them with you until we are old and gray.
I blink at him, my mind scrambling to catch up. Once it does, I burst into laughter. But it isn't long before I'm weeping again. God, this is insane. Jace drops down in front of me.
Pick a date, baby. Let's do this, so I can prove to you that we are going to grow old together.
Sniffling, I wipe my cheeks with the back of my hand and look at the calendar. We talked about a few dates, mainly summer of next year, but something held me back. The days we talked about never felt right. But now, as I turn each page of the calendar, I stop on one. The faded date standing out amongst the rest. It's a feeling I can't explain, a purpose far greater than either of us realizes. This one, I whisper, pointing to the day.
September 2nd,
he murmurs. September 2nd, 1869. That date holds meaning, a pivotal one. I don't know what exactly, but I know it as sure as I know my love for this man. Is that okay? I ask, looking down at him.
It's more than okay, but we have a lot to do. That's only 3 months away.
I'm ready if you are. A crooked grin tilts his lips, the same one that captured my heart and never let go.
Baby, I was born ready.
He says the words so casually, not realizing the power they hold. I have no doubt we were born for each other, that somehow, some way, we have shared a life and love as equally strong before as we do now. But we were robbed of our chance at forever. Perhaps this is fate's way of making up for that loss so long ago. Maybe this isn't just about Jace and me, but a second chance for Rose and Joshua. I want a garden wedding with a vintage theme, I say, the suggestion feeling right. He quirks a brow.
Vintage, huh?
I nod. Something that represents the late 1800s, like an old train clock or maybe even a horse-drawn carriage. My heart fills with excitement as I list all the items, every one of them feeling sacred in some way.
Not to dash your creative vision, baby, but where the fuck are we going to find an old train clock?
I have no idea, I laugh, but I will find a way. I'm very resourceful, Crawford. You know this. His lips curl into that sexy smirk.
True, but I'm even more resourceful. So if my woman wants an old train clock, then she's going to get a fucking train clock.
I shake my head at the ridiculous statement, but also can't deny how sweet it is. What about you? I ask, Anything specific you want to have?
As long as you're there, I have everything I need.
Warmth invades my chest, spreading right to the tips of my fingers and toes.
And peaches, he adds. There needs to be lots of peaches.
Of course, how could I have forgotten those? His obsession with a particular fruit has only grown over the course of our relationship, which is why the majority of my wardrobe and undergarments consist of the color. It drives him wild. Grace even sells our peach kiss pie at the bakery. It's a big hit, and Jace gets it every time he goes in. Maybe we can get some from Mr. and Mrs. McNally's peach farm again? I flash him a suggestive smile, remembering the time we made love there. He groans, fingers squeezing my hips before he drops a kiss on my bare thigh.
That was a good fucking day.
It was more than good. It was beautiful and the most spontaneous thing I'd ever done. A moment I'll treasure forever.
It's a long way to go for some peaches, though, he says. I'm sure we can find another farm around here and corrupt that one, too.
Actually, I was thinking we could have the wedding at my parents' lake house in Colorado. He rears back, clearly surprised.
Really?
Sure. It'd be perfect, since that's where we met and fell in love. Besides, our friends and your family are there. It would make things easier on everyone, and the property is beautiful. It's also large enough for all of us to stay at for the weekend. His eyes practically bug out of his head.
You want both of our families to stay in the same house?
Why not? Surely our fathers can put aside their differences for a weekend. He gazes back at me, unconvinced. I want us all to be together, Jace. It's important to me. He nods.
Then I'll make it happen. Whatever makes you happy.
My heart prances at his kind words. You make me happy. Leaning in, he takes my mouth in a soul-touching kiss before picking me up from my seat and carrying me back to bed. My back meets the cool mattress, his hard body following down on top. His face hovers just inches above mine, the love in his gaze holding every bit of me captive, a love I never want to live without. The desolate thought has my hand lifting to his face, fingers fanning his jaw. Promise me that we will always have this, that you will never leave me. The request is unfair, and I know it, but the burning images of that nightmare are embedded into my soul forever. His dark irises hold mine in a time-stopping second.
I promise to love you until your last breath, Samantha Evans. Then I promise to find you again and love you even harder.
The vow flows through every part of me, completely obliterating any remaining fear. Curling my fingers around his neck, I bring his lips to mine again, losing myself in what I have faith will always be ours. I have to, because the other alternative is too unfathomable.
Jace. Sam's breathing eventually evens out as she succumbs to sleep. Only then do I release the long, tortured breath I've been holding in. I'm not a superstitious person, never have been, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little more than freaked out by the nightmares she keeps having. A nightmare I know so well because I've had the same one for as long as I can remember. Even before we were together I experienced it, lived it, and knew it. Being engulfed in flames as I covered a small boy, agony ripping apart my chest with the knowledge that I would never see the pretty green eyes I lived and breathed for again. Green eyes I never thought I'd see outside of that dream. Until the day I met Sam. I have no idea what it all means, but I refuse to believe it's a sign. I make my own destiny, and it will be with this woman in my arms forever. A vow I have every intention of upholding until the end of time.
Chapter 1. Sam. Present day. Fresh air blasts through the lowered windows of our rented Jeep, making the ends of my blue floral dress tease the tops of my thighs. My hand rests on top of my straw hat, holding it to my head as I tilt my face up toward the late afternoon sun, basking in its warmth while we drive to my parents' lake house that is nestled deep in the Colorado mountains. I think about all the memories I've made in this state, including the one where I fell in love with the man who has held my heart for far longer than I can even comprehend. In just 2 short days, Jace and I will be declaring our love for one another in front of our closest family and friends, and I couldn't be more excited. Some days I still can't believe we made it here. He was the most unlikely suitor, as cocky and arrogant as he is charming and sexy. With dark, disheveled hair, warm chocolate brown eyes, and a panty-dropping smirk, he's the very definition of tall, dark, and handsome. He's also my brother's sworn enemy, both of them too much alike for their own good. Our fathers are rivals in every sense of the word, their feud dating all the way back to their days in high school. Now, we are all about to spend the weekend together. The Evans and the Crawfords under one roof could very well end in total disaster, and I know it, but it's important to me for us all to be together. I want my and Jace's love to be the tie that binds our families. I have faith that it will. It has to, because this is our destiny. It's what was always meant to be. I never believed in soulmates, let alone past lives, until I met Jace. The deep connection we had from the beginning was unexplainable. His touch, a buried memory in time. Then I met Madame Ramon, a gypsy psychic that somehow saw into my very soul. Despite what Jace thinks about her, I'm even more convinced what she said about us is true. How can I not, after the dreams I've had? The ones of a love that runs as deep as the loss. This day isn't just for Jace and me, but also for Rose and Joshua. Every detail I put into this wedding was with them in mind. Modern, with a touch of vintage, right down to the custom wedding dress my sister made for me. I just wish I could have found an old train clock, knowing it holds significance in some way, but finding the antique piece proved impossible. I refuse to let that get me down, though. The day will be as perfect as our love, because this is our second chance. History will not repeat itself. I know this, because it's already headed down a different path. My hand moves to my stomach, love spreading through every cell of my body as I think of the tiny life growing inside of me, a life that Jace and I created in our love for one another. It wasn't planned, not yet anyway, but it seems fate has intervened once again, and I'm not sorry that it did. It's been a hard secret to keep, but I want to surprise Jace with the news on our wedding night. I'm sure he will be more than shocked, but I have no doubt he will be as happy as I am. I'm pulled from my thoughts when he reaches over the console, taking my hand in his.
You're awfully quiet over there, Peaches. You okay?
I rest my head back on the seat, a contented smile forming on my lips as I gaze over at his handsome face. Yes, I'm perfect, actually. It's the honest truth. I don't think my life could be more perfect than it is right now.
Well, I could have told you that.
He flashes me that dirty grin of his, showcasing those sexy dimples that I can never get enough of.
Why do you think I'm marrying you?
I quirk a brow, amused. Is that so?
Yep. And to piss off your brother.
My smile vanishes, eyes narrowing before I punch him in the shoulder. A sexy laugh tumbles from his chest.
I'm kidding. That's just a bonus,
he adds, not making me feel any better.
I'm marrying you because you're smart, beautiful, kind, and caring.
My annoyance fades at his words.
And no one makes my dick as hard as you do.
I roll my eyes, but can't stop a laugh from bursting free. You were on such a roll, Crawford. He glances over at me again, his playful expression softening into something more somber.
I could say all the right words to you, Sam, but I don't need to, do I? Because you know.
I do. This is the man who left it all behind to be with me. His job, family, friends, all so I could be close to my family. He even went as far as having my brother in his wedding party because he knew how much it meant to me, despite their rocky history. You're right. I do know. I know it by the way you look at me. My voice softens as I picture that look so clearly. Feel it every time you touch me. Bringing his hand up, I press a kiss to his open palm. A low groan vibrates from his throat as he shifts in his seat.
I fucking love touching you, baby.
Me too, I admit on a whisper. It doesn't matter if it's fast or slow, desperate or passionate. Every time his touch is magical, kissing parts of my soul that are only reserved for him. But more than all that, I add quietly, leaning into his open hand, I feel it in the way you love me. No one has ever loved me as hard as you, Jace, and I can't wait to be yours forever. He glances back at me, his dark irises reflecting what I have buried deep in my bones. Without warning, he slows the Jeep and pulls off into a clearing on the side of the road. What are you doing? I ask, taking in the vacant area. He pushes his seat all the way back, making room for me.
Come here, Sam.
Why?
Because I want to kiss you.
My heart takes off in a gallop, an undeniable smile forming that I couldn't hide even if I tried. Well, how can I say no to that? Unlatching my seatbelt, I crawl over the console and straddle him, my dress inching up my thighs. He removes my hat and brushes my hair over my shoulder in a sensual caress before cupping the back of my neck and reeling me in, bringing us mouth to mouth, heart to heart. Like always, the connection is irrevocable, tipping my world on its axis, an alignment that not even the perfect starlit sky could assemble. It rights everything around us, making my entire universe come to a standstill. When his tongue parts my lips, sliding in to do an erotic dance with mine, I completely surrender, drowning in the undeniable.
Sweet as a fucking peach,
he groans. All I can manage is a sigh, too lost in him to even think of a coherent thought, let alone speak it. He ends up breaking the connection, but only to trail those heated lips down the base of my throat. I tilt my head, granting him more access as I take in deep lungfuls of much-needed air. His hand coast down my back to cup my bottom, bringing me in snugger against his erection. We better stop before we get ourselves into trouble, Crawford. The breathless attempt is half-hearted, because the truth is, I don't want him to stop. I never want him to stop.
The only troubling part about right now, Sam, is that I am not already inside of you.
He pulls at the tiny buttons of my dress, unveiling my peach lace bra. The sight has a growl erupting from his throat, a vibration that I feel all the way to my core. His hands cup the lace, molding over my aching flesh. My head falls back on a moan, my hands covering his as I arch into the heat of his touch.
Jesus, you're a fucking sight. Have I ever told you how much I love this color on you?
A slight smile touches my lips. Maybe a time or two.
That's because I do. I love it almost as much as I love the color of your bare skin.
He flicks the front clasp of my bra, bearing me to his stare. The cool mountain breeze whispers over my aching nipples, sending an army of sensations to implode through my body. God, I hope no one drives by. I worry breathlessly.
There's no one around for miles, baby. Trust me. No one will ever see what's mine.
He follows up the promise by taking a tortured bud into his mouth, lashing the fiery tip with his tongue. A heated whimper purges past my lips, my fingers driving through his hair as I hold him close.
Always so responsive,
he croons, before giving the same attention to the other one. My hips kick up in a desperate attempt, grinding down on his erection as I seek friction. Chase, please, I beg shamelessly.
You want my cock, Sam?
Yes, I whimper, so badly.
Then take it, baby. It's all yours.
I reach between us, unbuckling his belt. We're entering dangerous territory. Anyone could drive by at any moment, but it doesn't seem to matter. All that matters is feeling him inside of me. The same time I free him, he shoves my dress to my hips and pulls my panties aside. That's when I plunge down, taking him deep. My cry and his groan mingle in the heated breaths between us.
Fuck. I love being inside of you,
he growls, his fingers digging into the flesh of my hips. Me too. So much. More than anything, though, I love being his. I love waking up to him every morning, getting to kiss him whenever I want, touch him whenever I please, or make love to him at any given moment, just like this.
Hard, Sam.
The question is tight with a restraint he barely holds on to. Yes. He wastes no time driving up inside of me, each thrust of his hips relentless as he claims what no one else ever will. It's wild and completely unhinged. It's also freeing, liberating, and absolutely beautiful. Before long, we're both careening over the edge together, our souls weaving as deeply as our bodies. I drop down on top of him, resting my forehead on his as I fight to catch my breath. Eventually, I manage to open my eyes and peer right into his. A big silly smile spreads over my face. I love you, Jace Crawford, and I can't wait to be your wife. He doesn't return my smile. His steady gaze never wavers from mine as his hands frame either side of my face.
Everything I do in this life is for you, Samantha. Every breath, every step, and every moment. It's all for you.
The declaration seeps into my soul like a warm blanket, filling every inch of it with peace. Overcome with emotion, I tuck my face into his neck and hold on to this moment a little longer. With his heart beating against mine, I revel in the fact that in just 2 short days, I will be Mrs. Jace Crawford, and the life we were destined to live will finally begin.
Chapter 2. Jace. Sam's hand is firmly linked with mine as I pull into the white gated entrance and drive down the long paved road that leads to the lake house we will be staying in for the next few days. Her peach scent and taste still flood every one of my senses, and despite having her only a short time ago, I already want her again. Every second of every day I crave this girl, and I can't fucking wait to legally make her mine forever. I don't think life can get any more perfect than it is right now. Nothing could ruin it. Except one person. My good mood sours as I think about having to live with dick-faced loser boy for the next few days, and the fact that after this weekend I will be tied to him for the rest of my life. For Sam's sake, I try. I swear I do, but the asshole pushes every one of my buttons and enjoys every minute of it. I have no doubt he has shit up his sleeve for this weekend, but I'll be ready for it, and if he does anything to jeopardize my future with his sister, he will be shitting the hockey pucks I shoot down his throat for the rest of his miserable life. "Isn't it beautiful, Jace?" Sam admires wistfully, having no idea where my thoughts are as she stares up at the massive white-pillared house. It makes me feel like a complete dick, and I quickly remind myself that she is worth every minute of having to put up with that smug asshole. My love for her runs far deeper than my hate for him. Yeah, baby, it's great. Perfect location. 3 stories high, the house sits on acres of pristine property, with floor-to-ceiling windows and balconies that extend off almost every room. There is a picturesque view of the Rocky Mountains and crystal blue lake for all. It's as elaborate and big as Sam described. Let's hope it's big enough to keep everyone in their own corners for the weekend. I may have had practice dealing with her brother, but it will be the first time in many years that my father and John Evans come face to face. It was a hard sell when I first told my father of Sam's request. There was no way he was staying in the same house with that arrogant son of a bitch. His words, not mine. But when Sam called and told him how important it was to her, he caved because he can't say no to her. Just like I can't. I'm sure my mother had a helping hand in it as well. As unfortunate as it is, I can understand my father's hesitation. I used to feel the same way as he does about John, but I've come to realize I was wrong. He's a good guy. After all, he raised the perfect girl. My girl. Too bad he failed in the son department. Just as the thought emerges, the front door flies open, revealing Sam's sister. "Jessie!" Sam flees the Jeep, running to meet her halfway, both of them almost taking the other out as they embrace. Despite my reservations about how this weekend will go, I can't deny how good it feels to see Sam so happy. Her family means everything to her, which is why I will put up and shut up. I will do whatever it takes to ensure her happiness, and that includes putting up with her prick of a brother. "What are you doing here?" Sam pulls back, wiping the tears from her eyes. "I thought you didn't get in and..."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?